Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a lovely week so far. Sorry, it's never loud enough. I'm never loud enough in my own headphones, guys. That's the reality of the situation. You know, be thankful that you don't have to put up with Davey Deathray all the time, because guess what? I do. I got to deal with this guy the whole. It's a fucking nightmare, people. No one would want this job full time. So, guys, we are here for our second episode of Horror Courtroom. So, this is something that will probably get like more refined as we go, guys. And just to explain it again, because I think sometimes when I put up the topics for voting up on the community tab, I think there's a little, maybe a little misunderstanding, not from most people, but the topics are just the topics. We don't, it's, we're gonna kind of argue both sides. I mean, it's for fun. So it's like, you know, I'm not saying that Sydney's overrated. I'm not saying those things. I'm like, that's the thing that can be put on trial. I think most of you get it, but I just want to make sure before we get rolling that this isn't, I mean, it's all for fun anyways. Tonight, we're going to be talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I put up the poll for voting weeks ago, guys. And that's what I'm going to try to do for these horror courtrooms, because sometimes I notice that votes get picked up as we go along. Like, you know, maybe like a couple weeks in, there's double the votes than there would have been after that first week, you know. So 116 votes, 48% of those votes went for A Nightmare on Elm Street is a lost franchise. So that's what we're putting on trial today. And I've got a poll up in the chat for you guys. Of course, it's 50-50 right now, 6 votes. So if you're in the chat, make sure you vote. I'm just curious to know if you guys want to prosecute, if you guys want to say that yes, A Nightmare on Elm Street is a lost franchise, and then I would defend it, or if you guys want to defend it and I'm the one saying this thing is lost, it's friggin' dead, like let's move on. That's pretty much all we need to figure out before we really get going, and it's tied right now. So we need to do something to remedy that. I'm going to say what's up to you guys here in a second. I just want to remind you all that to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Evil Dead breakdown video if you haven't already. There's one that's just a real-time reaction of just me watching the trailer, and it's like 4 minutes long. That video, unfortunately, is demonetized because Sony doesn't like to play nice, but at least they let me keep the video up. But if you want to extra support the channel, I've got a frame-by-frame breakdown. It's about 20 minutes long. I know. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, and we go through like super slow motion, and then we kind of pick some spots that I wanted to look at, because I was seeing some things that I had questions about, and I was also seeing things that I recognized from other entries in the franchise. So we have a lot of fun. So if you've already watched that trailer, or you feel comfortable, you know, listening to somebody talk about, I don't know if there's spoilers in there, obviously, but definitely freely talking about what we're seeing and throwing out some theories. The frame-by-frame breakdown video was a lot of fun to put together. I love doing those. I pretty much just do them in one take as far as that, the, you know, frame-by-frame goes, which is very liberating and awesome. And yeah, for all you Evil Dead fans, like you got to check out that vid. So it's doing very well. Thank you so much to everyone that's watched it already. Guys, if you haven't hyped it and you have some hype points, I would very much appreciate it, because we're seeing a nice bump in subscribership due to that video. And we are 41 subscribers away from hitting 3,000. So we're circling the drain, or, you know, maybe that's too negative of a phrase to use, but we're getting damn close, everyone. So I've got another video that I'm cooking up. I just recorded it before this live stream, because Variety came out with a piece on Melissa Barrera where they interview her, and it's in my opinion, I think it's a pretty vile piece. Like where it ends up going as far as some of the conversation goes was pretty disappointing. I go through the whole thing. I do not hold back, and I'm very honest about like supporting Melissa as a person, but why this piece is troubling to me. And it's not just her, really. So keep an eye out for that. I would recommend, if you haven't checked out the Variety article, go ahead and check it out yourself. Like, of course, make up your own mind, and then check out my video, and you know, maybe we're kind of on the same page. Maybe that's, you know, we can jump into the conversation and chat about it. But I just felt compelled because I believe that the search for the truth is like the ultimate truth. And so when I see something that to me just does not seem right, like I'm going to say something about it. And, you know, just like she did. And luckily with my platform, it's a little bit different. I don't have to worry about a studio. No studio wants to sign me anyway, so I don't have to worry about losing that. But anyways, not going to tell you too much more, but I'm going to edit that later on this evening. It should be dropping tomorrow morning. So check out the article if you're interested, and then check out my reaction to that. I'm going to jump in and say what's up to you guys. We're going to get this rolling. I do want to let you know really quick, guys. So you might notice if any of you tried to send a super chat, I'm not assuming that anyone did. I have turned off super chats, guys. And the reason why is because I'm trying to raise some money to go out to New Jersey in June. There's something very special. It's coming up. It's an event with the Horror Show channel. It's out at Kevin Smith's Smodcastle Cinemas. And that's all I can share right now. So I can tell you those details. I know what dates I'm expecting to be gone. And I am looking to raise some funds because I'm going to be gone for about a week. And I want to make the trip everything it can be. I totally understand, though. It's like when I'm asking, you know, I don't even know if it's funny I use that word because some troll jumped into my post about it and was like, I can't believe you're asking people for money. It's so low. And it's like, here's the thing, guys. I just want to be very, very clear with everyone because I like to be transparent and honest with you guys. So the trip is going to happen. All of the contributions from the community are going to make it everything it can be. You know, it's going to make it a great experience. I'm going to share that experience with the channel regardless. So there's going to be free content for everyone. I've set something up. The easiest way to do it for me is through Venmo because they're not taking money off the top like GoFundMe and even the super chats, guys. Google takes money from the super chats, and the super chats are great. I totally don't mind that exchange. But in this instance, I was like, you know what? I'm going to shut those off, and I'm going to give people the opportunity if they want to support the channel. I'm going to give them an opportunity for more of their dollar to go towards the channel and specifically go for you know, towards this trip, which is going to be huge for the Horror Show channel. I hope that there's some benefits in our community as well. I think the two communities are, you know, growing together for sure. And I, you know, I completely understand how it can look for people that, you know, maybe aren't as invested. Maybe they don't watch every video. They don't hang out on the lives and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, there's no requirement for anyone to contribute anything. You guys showing up to the videos and showing up to the lives and hitting the like button and all that stuff, that's what matters to me is all of this. This trip is happening anyways, and I think this is an awesome opportunity. If you guys would like to support me and like to contribute, then the folks who do, I've got some perks set up. You can check out. I'm not going to show the whole tab here. You can check out the community tab if you want to see what I'm, you know, offering. And of course, like everyone's going to get free content. For the people that do contribute, I would like to give you guys a little something extra. And I, you know, personalized thank you videos, which I think are cool. But then also just sharing some of the experience while I'm out there that maybe, you know, that other people really aren't getting. So I just wanted to put it out there. I've got my QR code right there that goes to the Venmo. The Venmo is also pinned in the chat and it's in the description. And just while I'm raising the funds for this, I'm just going to put an end to super chats and all that stuff. We're still going to have plenty of awesome streams, and we're still going to stream on the weekends and everything, guys. And I can track it on my phone so we can like set up super chat goals. You know what I mean? Like, so what do we usually do? If we get $25 during a late night with the Davey, then what do I usually do? A bonus stream on Saturday night. So I'll just put that out there in the ether to you guys that if you want a bonus stream on Saturday night, we can make that happen. Let's just see. I'll keep a close eye on the phone here. And yeah, there we go. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. I'll probably mention it a couple times, but I don't want to harp on it too much. But I want you guys to know why there's no super chats. And of course, thank you to everyone that's contributed so far. It's been amazing. Like, you know, what has been able to be raised like in the first couple days of this thing is awesome. And I'm so very appreciative of every one of you. You guys are amazing. Like, you truly are amazing. And that's why I want to be open and honest with you guys about this stuff. And that's why, even though some people might try to make me feel bad for doing it or that it's something wrong that I'm doing, I know that you guys have my back. So there we go. I'm going to say what's up to you guys. We're going to get this rolling. If you haven't voted, it better not be 50-50. That will piss me off. you know, no super chats, no whatever, like that's totally cool. But if it's still 50-50, I'm gonna flip my lid, guys. All right, let me jump on in here and say what's up to you guys, and then we're gonna get going with the horror courtroom and figure out what's going on with A Nightmare on Elm Street. What the hell? We got Paula Fitzhenry, one of our great channel members. What's happening, Paula? Antonis Andriotis, another channel member. How are you doing, Antonis? We got Sean G hanging out, another channel member. How are you doing, Sean? So great to see you. Antonis saying what's up to everyone. We got Aaron Click. What's happening, Aaron? Miss Tia Nina, one of our great channel members. How are you doing, Tia? And we got Slasher Fred says, order in the court, the people of Deathray versus Nightmare on Elm Street. You are all my children now. Okay, Freddy, I need to work on the laugh. Maybe not do it at the end of my breath. We got the lovely Miss Jamie Hart in the chat, our original Death Squad mod, our mama mod, and a channel member. Hope you're doing great, Jamie. Thank you for jumping on in. Jamie, are you not watching the Evil Dead Red Band trailer? I would imagine you're not. And I hope nothing gets spoiled for you. I will just say, as a fan, it feels and looks very much like Evil Dead. And yeah, it's so amazing to see. I recoiled, I laughed, I got everything I wanted from that trailer. Well, not everything, because I need the full movie, but you know what I mean. Everything I'm not watching the international trailer. I heard there's some different stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm good. I want it to be as fresh as possible based on what I've seen. And we got Gory Tiger hanging out. What's happening, Gory? Great to see you. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, it's great to see. And it's like, we can get them from these live streams and everything. Man, it is those videos though, when there's a video that clicks. And I gotta say, like, I'm so very encouraged because I really like doing the slow motion breakdowns. And it seems like people like that. It seems like, and I'm not saying I'm the only one that does it, like plenty of people do them, but I just think that maybe that's like the niche of like the trailer reaction that sort of just fits my personality. When I watch something real time, I might not catch everything, or I might not verbally react to every little thing. Some reactors are very good at doing that. I'm like, I want to watch. So I just feel like it goes so much better when I'm able to sit there and actually have some time to look at it. Jigsaw jumping in, one of our great channel members, saying, order in the court, turkey and cheddar, pickle and mayo, and onion rings. Wait, what? You mean you can't order food? Yeah, no food ordering in the court. It's not a food court. Star Court food court. You're gonna need to stop talking about food. Is that what's going on? Maybe that's what it is. A bad dad. I thought it was a pretty good dad joke. I like it. Oh, it's actually from Garfield. Well, there you go. There you go. I won't forget to wave, Jamie. I won't forget to wave. It'll be waves on one side of the plane, birds on the other. You know what I mean? All right. Who else do we got here? Papa John Loves Trash says, hey, Davey, listening while side hustling and finishing out my last Uber Eats delivery. Hell yeah, Papa John. Appreciate you so much for being a channel member, and way to have that grind going, man. I mean, we live in the era of side hustles. We're not the only generation to do that, but no, I totally hear you. I mean, this is my little bit of a side hustle. I've done the DoorDash kind of thing too, a little bit as well, like just depending on what was going on in my life. But yeah, this is what we're doing now, just to stay afloat. It's crazy, Papa John, but big ups to you for doing what you got to do, man. Doing what you got to do to make the dream going. Legit question, what's Venmo? Assume I'm spelling that right. So Venmo is it's a way that like people can like pay each other for things, essentially. So it's like, maybe you get your haircut from a friend or something like that. Or like I've even used it. I've bought like a bottle of water outside of a stadium instead of buying it in the stadium, and the person out there just has like a QR code to their Venmo. So Jigsaw, you're in the United States of America, right? So there are limitations to Venmo. Canada, between Canada and the US, I think any foreign country, I'm not sure if it works because it's all routed through US banking systems. So I think that's the limitation there. If for whatever reason you want to contribute and you don't have Venmo or whatever, I've got there's other ways if you want to, again. So feel free to reach out to me. and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, as far as Venmo goes, they don't take anything off the top. So they're pretty awesome about that. So it's the best way to support and make sure that as much of your dollar is going like to the actual trip and not, you know, going to Google or GoFundMe or anything like that. So that's the one. And you did spell it right, Jigsaw. You did spell it right. There was something else I was going to say about Venmo, and oh, guys, I just want to let you know, I'll totally keep everything anonymous. So that's the thing too. You know, I understand that maybe some people want to give and they don't want it to be a thing. So I've just agreed to totally keep it anonymous, and then that way everyone's got their privacy. So how about that? How are you doing, Ryan? Great to see you, man. Our guy Piss Stofferson, one of our great channel members. We got Ryan Michael, another one of our awesome channel members. How are you doing, bud? Tia Nina's been a member for 6 months. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, Tia, it's been that long. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Tia. What the fuck is up, Denny's? How are you doing, Ron, or as I like to call him, Theron? What's happening, Theron? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well, man. Look at that, just ripping that guitar. Something like that, right? I won't let them get me rattled, but I would, either way, guys, I would be upfront and honest with all this stuff, you know, or about all this stuff with you guys. So, you know, I was going to have this conversation with you guys anyways. It's just, if I can throw a little dig at the people that I'm pretty sure they're trolls. I don't think they're actual haters. I think they're people that, so I found out that I may have a secret watcher or two, and I think it's very flattering, kind of creepy, little flattering. It's okay. You don't have to hide. So anytime I see some like kind of trolly comments, I'm like, I wonder if that's somebody from a past Davey life that hasn't been able to move on. So yeah, that's what I figured, Jamie. But I also am like, I don't know these people from the chats, and I don't know them from anything else. So Captain Ron is in the house. Love to see it. Much more about the story. Okay, cool. I don't want to know more about the story, so thank you for that, Tia. I'll just leave it alone. Yeah, that's amazing, Jamie. And that's why I wanted to just let you know, hardcore fan to hardcore fan. I'm so excited. So, take that for what it's worth. And I won't say anything to spoil anything. We got Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music. How are you doing, Corey? So great to see you, bud. Corey, we got to do something together. I know I appreciate everyone's got a busy life, and it's nothing that has to happen right away, but you've talked about it. You've talked about it on your stream. Now I'm talking about it on mine. Let's have some fun. Let's have a little fun. And I'm not afraid of a panel. So if you guys are ever doing one of your panels and somebody can't make it or whatever, feel free to give me a shout. I try to make myself as available as possible. And I know you're friends with Sin from Sin's Corner. I really like her content as well. So yeah, keep me in mind. Okay, let's see what we got. Prince is hanging out. Princey-doo! How are you doing, Prince? Great to see ya. People of Earth versus Freddy Krueger, dated 6th of May 2026, proceeded by Davey Deathray. It's true, guys. May 6th is a big day for me too. It is. I've been sober from alcohol for 9 months today. As of 4 a.m. on May 6th, it's been 9 months without alcohol. It's been awesome. It hasn't necessarily made everything easier, but it's made having a clearer head and like knowing who I am and where my compass is pointed, like it makes all of that a lot easier. So no judgment to anyone that enjoys alcoholic beverages. I'm actually very, very envious of you that you can do that. I have a tough time, so I just have to know my limits and, proceed with my life as such. But more power to everyone. And it's been an awesome 9 months. So I'm very, very grateful. So if you want to send something in through Venmo, you could send in a $9 amount to celebrate if you want. That's the last time I'm going to mention it. It's right up there, though, if you want. All right. So what else do we got? Hell yeah, man. Great to see that. Love it. One whole baby. I know. My sobriety from alcohol is now actually born, guys. Yeah, I really like the panels too. And I haven't been able to do as many collaborations lately. It's just been super busy and crazy and everything. So I'm trying to get back into that as well. We have, I don't know if you guys saw on the page, but we've got Movie Punks coming up on Saturday, May 16th. Foz and I are going to watch and talk about SLC Punk, which is my favorite Matthew Lillard performance. Easy. It's not even close. And it's a movie that's dramatic. It's really funny. It's poignant. It's raucous and rowdy. Like, if you've not seen SLC Punk, I recommend checking it out and then watching it with us on Movie Punks. That's where we cover movies that have got a punk rock edge. And then I'm putting something together with my buddy Mark from Tales from the Shelf. It might even be, I think it's going to be a Nightmare on Elm Street related. I think we're going to do a versus battle, and we're going to do a worst versus battle. We're going to put Freddy's Dead against the 2010 A Nightmare on Elm Street remake and find out which one is actually the worst one. Thank you so much, Jeff. Really do appreciate you. We're talking about the whole franchise here. So this is a, oh my gosh, it is so good, Tia. I think you will love it. It's really funny, but it's got heart. And it's not, it never gets too syrupy. It's a very well-balanced film. It's really damn good. Yeah, let's get into it, guys. Let's jump on over to, and when I say jump on over to, I mean the screen's going to stay the same. I'm just going to bring up, what do we got? All right, guys, we got our opening statements here, but at first I need to see which side you're all on. You've got to be kidding me. There are 14 votes and it's 50-50. Do I have to flip a coin for you people? Is this where we're at? Is this where we're at? Come on. Come on. Let's see what we got. Just making sure I'm not missing anything at all. Cool. Guys, okay, there we go. I'm going to end it right there. You guys are going to defend A Nightmare on Elm Street. I had to end it as soon as there was an imbalance in the force. Okay, so you guys are going to defend A Nightmare on Elm Street. I am going to prosecute it. I think we've both got pretty good arguments here. So let's see. Let's see what we got. Okay. Opening statements, everyone. Let me bring up my notes. So, guys, we are here. Let me do a little... There we go. That was like excessively loud. Sorry, guys. So, we are here today. You know, let it please the court, all that kind of good stuff, to put A Nightmare on Elm Street on trial. A Nightmare on Elm Street has been accused of becoming a lost franchise. You know, it's spotty at best in the middle of the franchise. It started off great. Third movie, pretty damn awesome as well. A total all-time banger. I think the fourth movie's awesome. Big time teeterage on 5 and 6, right? And then Wes Craven's New Nightmare is something like totally different, but really good. And then, oh my God, like, sure, Freddy versus Jason is fun, but by the time we're at the remake, we've totally lost the plot. They literally fumbled Freddy, you know, completely at the end of that film of the 2010 remake. And we've not seen anything official from the franchise since. That's 16 years, folks. So I think this thing is officially a lost franchise. We're not hearing any murmurs, nothing from the Craven estate, nothing from producers about actual movement on, you know, a sequel or a reboot or some sort of property that's related to Freddy Krueger and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I mean, as far as we know, there are no conversations happening. So to me, this is a dead franchise. This isn't like Friday the 13th that's been going through legal battles and we've been privy to everything. We're completely in the dark and we have no idea what's coming up next. And as far as we know, nothing's coming up next. It's been left to filmmakers like my buddy Cecil Laird, who did Dylan's New Nightmare, and Paul Bailey, whose fan film, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the name. It's like The Last Nightmare of Detective. Ooh, I can't remember the name. I'm trying really hard, Paul. I love your movie. I just can't remember the name right now, but it's up to these fan filmmakers to bring the juice as far as Freddy goes. That's where we've been left. And even worse than when, you know, Vincent DeSanti did Never Hike Alone, at least there was still like some sort of movement and talk about Friday the 13th. But in this situation, there's nothing going on with the Nightmare on Elm Street. So the legacy is a bit shaky, I think, on this franchise, and we're talking massive stagnation in the franchise. So I think it's very safe to assume that this franchise is guilty of being lost and being lost completely. And now it's your turn out there in the chat to defend this franchise Let's see what you guys are saying. I know my I need an actual gavel, but man, I'd have to like have it on the side. I could do one that like squeaks, squeak, squeak, or whatever. That'd be pretty funny. Let's see what we got here. Nathan Thornwood, one of our great channel members. How you doing, Nathan? Says, grats. Tried Jack Daniels the night I turned 21. Didn't care for it. Mom freaked upon finding the bottle. Dad asked, did you like it? I said, nope. Dad said, problem solved. It is simple as that. And fortunately for me, it was, you know, it was just total cold turkey and no temptation since then. It's been pretty all right. Pretty all right. Let's see what we got. I am not, I mean, I kind of am, you know, I mean, we, you know, it's not a real courtroom, Prince. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. What do we got here? Jamie says, I do think it's a lost franchise, at least for now. I can't defend that. It is very, very difficult to defend. Last time I saw Freddy was on that sitcom. I think you're talking about the Goldbergs. Yeah, exactly. You have to pretend. You have to pretend. You have to fake it. Jeff says, yeah, and it's sad. I grew up on the franchise, so the first one in the theater, or saw the first one in the theater on November 9th, all the way back in '84. Yeah, I mean, the first movie in the franchise is incredible. You know, it's such a high point, you know, and man, the second movie is, I think, a pretty big drop off. It's really too bad, like how fast Freddy went from being like scary to being kind of like a cartoon character that kids could enjoy, you know, on a very basic level. Nightmare on Elm Street is not a lost franchise, says Aaron Click. It has maintained a level of entertainment throughout and has never been guilty of being boring. Very interesting. So Aaron, how about even Freddy's Dead? That's not boring to you? I think Freddy's Dead gets boring for me. Even 5 gets boring for me. And again, I'm playing prosecutor, so, you know, I'm pushing back for the spectacle of it all, I guess. It's true you're saying it's maintained a level of entertainment. I think that's true for the most part. Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, that's a good point though. Okay, I'm gonna concede this point to Aaron. I think a couple of the movies are boring. I think by and large, it's the franchise is not that boring. It's not like TCM where the bad ones are really, really bad, you know. Tia says a Nightmare on Elm Street can come back due to the dream concept. It can be used in different scenarios. People literally doze off in public places all the time. It's true. Yeah, and you could, I mean, I guess, yeah, you could reboot it for the modern age, right? And you could even bring Freddy back in a way that's yeah, like something that goes viral, almost like a walking sim horror movie, you know, like a J horror kind of thing. It's sort of what Freddy is, kind of like that, you know. He's like this thing that follows you once you've had a thought in your head about him, like that's that. So that's a valid point there. Ben Grimm, one of our great channel members, jumps in and says, it's not a franchise nobody cares about anymore. If a new movie is released, I guarantee almost every horror fan will be in the theater that first weekend. I do think you're right there, Ben. Yes. However, we're not hearing any rumblings, right? Is anybody hearing anything? Like the last I heard, it's up to the Craven estate. And the last I heard of that is that they're not particularly interested in doing anything with it right now. So, but you're totally right. There's plenty of love for Freddy, and because of the absence, maybe they're in a good spot once they finally announce something. But for right now, we have no reason to believe. It's been 16 years and we don't have anything other than fan films, and some of them have been really damn good. So at least there's that. When the original movies, your mind is like, how did they do those effects? Like the scene in the original Freddy in the alley and his arm stretch out. Yeah, they probably just have, some people pulling those things from the side. I mean, the effects are great. I mean, to me, that's part of the big charm, you know? I did see that. Yeah. You know, just that he's interested in doing that. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? I think if you're a smart, horror film director right now, you would jump at that opportunity if you could. We got Billy Judd hanging out. What's happening, Billy? Great to see ya. Darren says, Your Honor, we are pushing for a verdict of innocent due to incompetence to the defendant. Yeah, well, maybe somebody will mess something up and Freddy will go free. You know, you never know. I am live, Joe. I am live. I think they'll have a rough time making Freddy scary again. It is a task. It's certainly a task, and I think ultimately the way to do it is to make sure that Freddy is not a household name. You know, when you hire somebody to be Freddy, don't pick somebody that most people would know. I lobbied for Jared Bankins a couple years ago when I first started the channel. I'm still standing by that point. I saw him on the first season of Twisted Metal. He's in like the first 3 episodes. He plays like the right-hand man of the big bad. And he took such sadistic joy in the things he was doing to his victims. And he has an angular look where I was like, man, he would make a really like unsettling looking Freddy. And I think he's definitely got the chops. And just seeing that sort of aspect in that character, I was like, I could see this translating to a really cool Freddy Krueger. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to bat for the guy because although I did see him like he's in Faces of Death, he's been popping up. He's in the Fallout TV show. Like Jared's career is nothing to shake a stick at or stick your nose up at. Like many actors would love to have that kind of career. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of opportunities in front of him. And I think it would behoove the people that make or have the rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street to get going on a project, get this guy involved. He's a little bit older. 2 years ago, he was the same age that Robert was when Robert jumped into the role. So now he's a little bit older, probably 37, 38, but still a good age to have a nice run, and get him before he pops. Get him before he's a household name. Make him a household name like, you know, Freddy did with Robert. We only knew Robert as the guy, the nice alien from V is how we knew Robert before. My favorite of all time would have to be the first 3 plus New Nightmare. All right. Even the worst nightmare have interesting skills. Oh, nightmares have the interesting kills. Sorry. That are not just another variation of stabbing people. It's true. A Nightmare on Elm Street is about the kills. It's kind of like Final Destination. Like maybe the movies aren't like super great, but the kills are creative and fun. And that's the major draw, and everything else is kind of a backdrop. I object. On what grounds? Because it's devastating to my case. Oh, liar, liar. Yeah. Movie Thought says the fat guy from Dune escaped into the new Resident Evil movie. I've not seen any of the Dune. But yeah, there's nothing quite like, a pasty, like literally white, naked, bald, fat man in a horror movie. It's, they pop up. They pop up. We see them all the time. Yeah, it does. And that's the strength, but that only gets you so much, right? That only gets you so much. And I understand what you're saying with the stabbing. Like Scream is very guilty of the stabbing, and basically that being its own thing. But, sometimes I think about other, like Jason, like they're stabbing, yeah, but there's different weapons in almost every kill. He's using something else. He's also like creative with what's around him. Michael got there with the stabbing, but Michael's genesis is hands-on approach and using the weaponry as like a second attack. So yeah. Freddy's Dead is so cartoonish that over-the-top nature of it prevents it from being boring. Ooh, okay. Okay, I'm going to read there may be a scene or two that slows things down, but they're always followed with a ramp up. Yeah, to me, I do get bored. I'll say this. I think 5 is more boring. If we're just talking boring, 5 is more boring than Freddy's Dead because, yeah, Freddy's Dead is so over the top, I have not seen that one yet, Movie Thoughts. Things got really busy for me, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to see everything I wanted to see. Just work and everything else. So, yeah, it's kind of tough, That's why I'm trying to make this dream become real, It's just going to keep on grinding and keep on rolling. Out of all the actors that are out there, who do you think? Ooh, so I already answered that one for you. Down is up. Jared Bankins. Look him up. I'll type his name in the chat so you can. There you go. It'll be all in caps. This guy, totally a believer in him as a performer. I did one of my first videos, guys. If you go all claw all the way back, it's probably within the first 10 videos I did. Maybe even sooner. I can't even remember, but it's very early days of Davey Deathray on YouTube. What's happening, Mark? How are you doing, bud? I talked about you a little bit earlier, just talking about us setting up a little versus battle. This is a little bit of a preamble to that now, isn't it? Let's see here. What else do we have? I'm very excited. Movie thoughts. I think Curry Barker is an extremely talented young man, and I'm so happy for him. 26 years old, you know, putting in the work. He's very creative. He's an excellent performer as well, which is another layer of impressiveness. Another layer of impressiveness for Curry Barker. So yeah, based on everything I've seen from him and how great of a storyteller he is, and what he said about the franchise and all that stuff just last week, I have so much faith in him. I really do. Like I can be a grumpy Gus about, you know, who are these people? What's with these young people? Like, we can all get like that. The older we get, we're not as familiar. We're admittedly, like, you're just getting more out of touch the older you get, seemingly. And I don't have kids to keep me in touch or close to in touch. So yeah, it feels really good to be like, man, this kid actually deserves it. And I'm so pumped for him. I want great things for TCM and for Curry Barker. He would be great. He would be great. And he's, you know, got a connection, you know, as far as everything with Stranger Things. So yeah, I think he would be awesome. Maybe he's not like a household name, but he is very, I mean, he doesn't have to work ever again if he doesn't want to. But I want him to, and I'm sure everyone else does, because he's a damn good actor. So yeah, I think Jamie Campbell Bower would be really, really good for sure. Let's see here. What do we got? Jared Bankins, there it is. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on over to our other thing. Slasher Fred, I see all of your contributions in the chat. Because we're doing Horror Courtroom, I'm just going to keep things rolling. I just want to let you know, love what you bring to the table, man. Just keep it up. And if we're talking about the argument that we're having here, I'll jump in there and grab that. Okay. All right, guys. So evidence here, guys. This thing has an identity crisis. This franchise, unfortunately. It is spotty. The lore is an absolute mess. The lore's always been a fucking mess. They've never been able to correct it. Even the movies that I love are pretty messy. And it gets to the point, even in the second movie, where you don't even have to be asleep. Freddy can seemingly like exist in the real world, but also exist in the dream world. They're very fast and loose with the rules on all of that. And they never really like rein it in for a period that lasts longer than one damn movie. If you watch all of these movies in a row, it starts getting really confusing really quick as to like, what are the rules for Freddy? In the first movie, they're great. In the third movie, the rules mostly make sense. But in every other one, it is so fucking crazy. Also, what are we doing? So it's a horror franchise, okay. Already getting into a little bit of humor by the third movie, by the fourth movie even more, and then it's just completely off the rails. Then there's the meta aspect as well with Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which I love the film, but it doesn't really say much for the consistency of the franchise. This franchise is not consistent tone-wise with the lore. Even getting at the end of the franchise, the way Freddy looks, and then just the style of film, you know, the complete genre change of film, which I think can be useful as long as everything is sort of congruent, right? The first three Evil Dead movies, it's a horror comedy horror, right? But they all follow certain rules, even though they have to retcon things because of rights issues and all that. They still feel like they're part of the same world. Part of your world. You know what I mean? So we're not getting that in A Nightmare on Elm Street. The thing that makes it feel like it's part of one world is Freddy Krueger, and that's it. And so even in a movie like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which I love and I think is fucking incredible, and they explain it why Freddy looks differently there, but even in that movie, which is a fan favorite, even we can't get consistency there, right? So I don't know. And then when they do the reboot, they end up making him a child predator, which I just think is so unnecessary. Like Predator in this, you guys know what I'm talking about. It was bad enough already, and I think even though it's been, widely, stated that Wes kind of had that in his head canon, he left it out of the script. And I can't remember if he left it out of the script because it wasn't necessary or it just made things a little less grim. But it's bad enough what Freddy did to kids in the main line, and we can sort of assume, since he did that there was probably other stuff, right? We can just assume that as an audience. I think it makes for an odd turn in the remake, because I thought the interesting thing about the remake is they opened it up to be like, well, what if he were innocent, right? What if it just seemed like he was really creepy and he actually is innocent, and the parents like burn him up, and then he gets revenge by selling his soul, and like that to me is actually an interesting way of doing a reboot. Not because it just goes against the original one, but because it's trying something new, and it's exploring a what if scenario that would change the entire like perspective of the franchise, which I think could be really interesting. What I found very grim and disappointing though is just at the point where they could like still keep that going in the movie, like 2/3 of the way through, maybe 3/4 of the way through, they open up that shoebox or whatever it is, the cigar box with all these pictures, and they just blow up the possibility of actually doing something interesting with the franchise. So there's some confusion there on the reboot for me. It's all over the place. It's no wonder to me this thing has been dead for 16 years because of that. And now we're in a spot where it seems like the legal rights are all figured out, but the people that have the rights aren't necessarily interested. So while A Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger have a huge cultural footprint, which goes beyond horror film. Obviously, us horror fans love him. He's part of the big three. Nothing's ever going to change that, right? But, even though he's got that cultural footprint, do people even know? Like, if you went to a kid and showed him a picture, they might know Freddy Krueger. Do they know that the franchise is called A Nightmare on Elm Street? I would not be surprised if people didn't know that. If you went to a younger generation, said, who's this guy? They'd be like, Freddy Krueger. What franchise is he in? They'd probably be like, Friday the 13th. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's your guys' job to defend here. But yeah, I'm just seeing that it's a lost franchise because of, timeline problems, identity crisis, that 2010 awful reboot, the rights being sat on currently. And even though there's a cultural footprint, I don't know that the cultural footprint follows the franchise. I think it follows Freddy, and Freddy exclusively. But let me know what you guys think. I just went on my diatribe. Let's see what you guys are saying here. All right. Let me just scroll on up. All right. Thank you, Jamie, for doing your thing. We got KB Loves Movies in the house. What's happening, KB? Says, sup, Davey? Still my favorite franchise, dude. I totally get it, too. And, I mean, this is all for fun anyways. Like, I have plenty of fun with the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. It's cool in these horror courtroom settings to kind of have these, like, let's go ahead and create, like, a fun divide, There's enough, like, true division out there in this world that can get really uncomfortable. We can let our hair down here in the horror courtroom and talk freely and know that it's just for fun. So I totally get you, KB. It's, I would imagine too, especially coming from your generation, being able to see that first movie in the theater. I can't remember exactly your age at that time, but I can, with the slasher boom kicking off right before all of that, I can only imagine. And I have plenty of friends that like that's their franchise. My buddy Cecil, that's his franchise. He's a massive fan. I mean, and I'm a fan too, but I like to throw it shade just for fun, KB. Hope you are well. I know our boys lost earlier today, but I hope you're well. I think the rules being inconsistent work with the dream demon aspect. A demon could theoretically act anyway and have whatever powers it wanted to. That's good. That's a good one, Ron. I think that's a legitimate defense. And the only pushback I would have to say is, while that is true, we need to know what the rules are so we know when they're being broken. And they don't ever really kind of wrap the storytelling doesn't ever really say like, this is the thing and these are the new rules or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it does in a certain regard, as far as like when the Dream Warriors realize that they can, why can't I think of her name right now? Why do I want to say Alice? Is it Alice? Patricia Arquette? What the fuck? Why can't I remember her fucking character's name? This is bizarre to me. Sorry, guys. Sometimes you stream and you brain fart. Anyway, she figures out she can bring people into the dreams. They figure out they have superpowers and all that. So they did some lore building on like that side of it, which is really cool. But with Freddy, they just sort of, you know, we know about how he came to be with his mom being a nun and all that kind of stuff. But the rules, they never really get into the mysticism too much. Defense. When dealing with dreams, things might get blurry and confusing. In a way, the fact that you seemingly can't kill Freddy the same way twice is actually scary. That's true. And I do like that he's able to come back just from like a thought. You know, I think that all that aspect, like I love that about Freddy. It's the who can he affect? What can he do? I mean, seriously, in Freddy's Revenge, and I know it's the second movie, but oh my God, when the gym coach is just in the office and all the stuff is getting thrown at him. What is that? What's going on? Freddy possessed all the medicine balls and all the stuff in the equipment room to like get thrown at the, like, what is that? I seriously don't know. And that's not even the most troubling thing. Like there's plenty more. So, but I do agree that like having him he has to be dealt with in a different way every time. I mean, shit, in part 2, Kim Myers had to kiss him. That's how they had to kill him, you know? Yeah, I know you're with the puppets and everything. Those are really cool. Yeah, the puppets are great. I mean, all the stuff with the tendons coming out of Philip's, you know, arms and legs, it hurts me every time I watch it. Every single time it affects me. So, sorry guys, I thought I saw something pop up over here. Just want to make sure I'm all good. Cool. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I know that would like be ideal at some point, but I also know that Cecil's got a lot of original stories that are really good. So I think the idea is like, let's do something original and maybe revisit the fan film stuff down the line. Even back then, Freddy was bigger than the movies, bigger than the franchise. Yeah, he's got so much personality, right? It's like Chucky. Chucky was the same way. Almost immediate recognition, you know, and it's that those slashers that talk, they're sassy, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, they are very, very memorable and very iconic, like very quickly iconic. I would say the one that's the most surprising as far as personality that doesn't speak, like Art the Clown, man. Those Terrifier movies are not my favorite thing in the world or anything like that. They don't really fit my sensibilities. I get a certain amount of enjoyment out of them. And of course, you know, I'm familiar with them because I run a horror channel. But, you know, Art the Clown for not speaking is extremely, extremely expressive. David Howard Thornton just does such a good job. Yes, I have Chris. I will, instead of talking about it here, because I'm so excited about the video I put together. I did like a 4-minute first time reaction. So it's like real time, just me. It literally is the first time I watched that trailer, the Red Band trailer. And it's about 4 minutes long. You just get my honest reaction, not too much of a deep dive. But I also did like a 20-minute frame by frame deep dive video where it's slow motion. And I get into all my postulation, all my theories, how I'm feeling about the movie, all that fun stuff. So you can get every single one of my thoughts there, and jump into the comments, man, and let me know what you think. Okay. And guys, if you haven't checked out the video yet, hype it. You guys have been amazing. It's been doing very well. So I'm sure all of you have already checked it out, but just in case, and feel free to hype it and all that stuff. Been great, Chris. Awesome to see you, man. Thank you for jumping in and hanging out. Kristen, is Alice is in 4, right? Dude, that's so embarrassing that I couldn't think of Kristen. Thank you guys. Thank you all for saving me. I appreciate you. 15 when the second one came out. All right. All right. Do you guys all support? You guys all support my hobbies. Like, you guys are amazing. I have been blessed with so much support. I'm definitely not trying to be like, ooh. But I don't know. Do you mean romantically, Prince? Now I'm like, oh, is Prince saying like, hey, I hope you meet a sweet person down the road? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. Trust is difficult right now. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I know they're awake. They're awake. Even when Jesse gets taken over in the shower, they've been awake the whole time. What's going on? It pisses me. It actually does piss me off the more I revisit that movie, and I'm like, I get that people defend that movie for certain reasons, But let's talk about the stuff that's really messy in that movie, because it's not really a good movie. I like it less and less every time I watch it, and I liked it a lot when I was a kid. What's happening? We got Chris from Chris and Shell Talk Movies. How are you doing, Chris? At least I think it's Chris. Welcome on in. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 can't be revived without Richard Brake. I think it can, Noah. I think Richard Brake might be the worst person to play Freddy just because of his age. Him and Kevin Bacon are way too old. So we don't want that, right? We want somebody, well, when I say we, I just like, I'm thinking in my head, like, I want somebody that's in their late 30s that is not known. Jared Bankins. Jared Bankins, guys, check him out. He was in Twisted Metal. He's in the Fallout show. He's in the background for one little scene in Faces of Death. He was in a really cool movie called Off Ramp that is about juggalos going to the gathering. And that's a movie that like took some turns and took, you know, things went in a direction I did not, you know, foresee. And a movie like one I've never seen before. But yeah, Jared Bankins, look him up. He is amazing. And he's got the look and the age and everything. I won't tease you about it. I want it to come back just as much as every other, like, you know, good horror fan. And I think there's a lot of potential with A Nightmare on Elm Street, but right now I think it's dead. I think it's a lost franchise. No worries, Iris. Hope you're doing well. We're just in this first hour, so we are still hanging out. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, my sober app is reminding me. Yes, 9 months alcohol free today, guys. What about Skarsgård? He might make a good Freddy. Seems quite versatile. I liked his Pennywise. I don't want him just because he's a name. That's my, like, I've heard him. I've heard Evan Peters. There have been, like, and these are great actors. This is not about, oh, I don't think he could pull it off. Bill Skarsgård could absolutely pull off Freddy. Absolutely. I worry about having a name attached to a big character like this because I think it raises the burden of expectation. And then I think for the actor, it's a tough thing to do. Jackie Earle Haley is a fantastic actor. Whatever we got from Freddy, that ain't it. I don't think his performance was good. I don't think what was on the page was good. I don't like any of it. And so, you know, and that's not to say that Bill would have the same thing. I just think, you know, sometimes when you put a fresh face in that's not an established star, you also, I don't know if it buys you credit with the fans that are skeptical, but I think the fans that are like, only Robert could do this, if someone like Bill Skarsgård got it or someone like Evan Peters got it, I think the criticism would be even heavier than if they hired someone that was a relative unknown. Because I think to a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street fans, they would take a step back and they'd be like, oh, relative unknown. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. I didn't even think about this. This guy really looks like it could be Freddy. I'm going to go check out some of his movies and see how he is as an actor. Or just like, oh, it seems like they are trying to kind of replicate the magic from the original by bringing someone in that's not an established star. But yeah, Jamie, Bill Skarsgård's a fucking awesome actor. Like, yeah. If I were making a Nightmare on Elm Street movie and he wanted to be in it, I wouldn't say no just on principle. Thank you so much, KV. I appreciate you, man. Skinny dude from Pirates of the Caribbean with a wooden eye. I'm horrible at names. No, so that's his dad, right? Stellan Skarsgård. Is that who you're talking about? Bootstrap Bill. Oh no. The guy with the wooden eye. He kind of looks Jared Bankins and that guy with the wooden eye. They sort of, no, I don't know if they really look alike, but he was on The Office, on the original Office. He plays Gareth in the UK Office. I think that's who you're talking about. Probably too old at this point, but if you went back to 2003 and grabbed that version of him, that could be Freddy. Yep. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you guys so much. I just want to say a little reminder, guys. I turned off super chats because I'm raising funds to go out to New Jersey for a super special event at Kevin Smith's Smod Castle Cinemas. That's a lot of S sounds in a row. I'm going out there with my friends in the Horror Show channel. So I'm raising funds to make that trip all that it can be. The trip is happening. But if you guys are, you know, in a spot where you'd like to contribute, I've just shut off super chats. You guys have been amazing with the super chats lately. Google takes a pretty big chunk of that stuff, but if you go with the Venmo right there, the link's in the description and pinned in the chat. If you go that route, it just means that, you know, more of your contribution actually goes to the trip and it doesn't go to Google or GoFundMe or something like that. But I am offering perks. There's a bunch of stuff on the community tab on my page if you want to take a look. And I'm keeping everything anonymous for everyone. So just wanted to let you guys know, if you want to help a dream come true and all that kind of fun stuff, that's how you can help. Radio silence can reboot A Nightmare on Elm Street. Stop fucking kidding. You've got to be kidding me, Tia. Keep radio silence away from anything meaningful. That's what I would do. I would never let them near anything I cared about. That's for sure. Oh, Jared Bankins. Yeah, Jared. I'll say it every time someone asks. You can ask me again in 5 minutes. I'm going to say the same thing. Or have Robert mocap. Nathan, can't they just have a mocap? You know, Nick Castle mocapped for the Halloween video game that they're putting together. They had a younger guy that also plays Michael that Nick like kind of showed him the way that he would do things, you know, so the movements are consistent. But Nick mocapped for a lot of that. They could do that with Freddy. Freddy is that kind of character where you can get photo real enough, since he's a dream demon in a dream. If you had to mocap him and replace him, you so could. They could totally have Robert. If Robert was able to mocap and do his voice, that would be it. Kind of okay with pretty much anyone they would pick to play Freddy, as long as it isn't fucking Jared Leto. Yeah, people have been saying, I've heard Richard Brake and Kevin Bacon for 10 or 15 years. Well, guys, they don't look the same that they looked 10 or 15 years ago. We're not going to get Richard Brake from Doom or Richard Brake from Halloween 2. We're getting one that's like 20 years older than that. So that's something that I think sometimes when we think about actors, oh, Kevin Bacon would make a great Freddy. Well, Kevin Bacon's barely younger than Robert at this point, really. You know, it's like, what is he in his? Kevin Bacon's got to be 60, 65, something like that. Like, there's not much of a gap. There's not as big of a gap as we think, because I think the way that we think about actors, you go back and you revisit movies from the past, we see them totally differently than their family or friends would, who get to see them every day, you know? What's happening, Lido? It's okay, bud. We're about halfway through. Great to see you, man. I hope you're doing as well can be, and let's catch up sometime. Our good friend here, Hollywood Lido, one of our great channel members. Guys, Iris is a channel member as well. Ron's a channel member. Some of you guys I missed bringing that up, so sorry about that. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, blow up another franchise, why don't you? Okay, let me jump on to the next little bit here. Dylan O'Brien, I would cast as Freddy myself. Dylan O'Brien. Oh, is he the guy from Send Help? Is that Dylan O'Brien? Let's see. Yeah, okay. It's so tough to tell. I'm seeing him with, okay. I mean, he doesn't have a look that screams Freddy to me, but that really in this day and age doesn't mean anything, Chris, because I've been watching the Penguin TV show and that doesn't look like Colin Farrell. So they could definitely take a guy like Dylan O'Brien and make him dressed up to be Freddy. There's something about with Jared, I like how angular he is. He's got a look that is like, that they could accentuate in costume, and he would look just a little on that uncanny valley if they accentuated a couple things. So that's, you know, and I think he's a great actor too. So there you go. Kevin 67. See, guys, we have to be like, yeah, that's basically the same age. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, we want somebody, Lido, back me up on this. We want somebody that can play Freddy for 10 to 12 years, ideally. You know, you want your first movie, you figure, let's get at least 3 movies, you know, let's make sure the first one's good, but let's try to get 3 good A Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And if those go well, then you could bring back that person for like another couple or another trilogy. And, you know, feasibly the way they make movies now in Hollywood, that person would have other jobs in between probably. And in 12 years, you could make, you know, 3 to 6 films in 12 years, something like that. Let's see what we got. Jack Quaid is Freddy Krueger. See, that's another name. And every time I see him, he is Jack Quaid in everything. He's very charming, don't get me wrong. I think his performances are good. I just see the same guy in everything I've seen him in. So I don't see much of a nuance or a difference in performance. And yeah, I think for me, he's a bit too much of a name. But guys, I'm not saying this to like burst anyone's bubble, and I'm certainly not trying to be a dick. You know, it's just, you know, I've got a little bit of a fiery personality. What can you do? And this is stuff that I think about where I'm just like, I like that we're having these conversations. It's good we're having these conversations because I'm not saying, hey, the Richard Brake talk's got to stop. The Kevin Bacon talk's got to stop. But I think we're reaching the point where we can all kind of take a step back and be like, yeah, maybe someone in their 30s and 40s is the better way to go. Even like, I love David Dasmalchian. Like, I think he's friggin' awesome. Like, even he might be too old to be Freddy because I think he's close to 50. Again, because we want them for 10 to 12 years. And if I were making a Freddy movie and he wanted to be Freddy, I would absolutely give it up. That could be a little dicey, having one icon play another icon. But, yeah, I think it could work. I think that could work. Because David Howard Thornton's known in the horror world. So he's still not a regular, he's not a household name. So yeah. There you go. What do we got here? Jack Quaid is a bit one-dimensional from what I've seen. Yeah. Very charming, but there's just not many, there's not many colors on that palette. You know what I mean? He's doing a Bob Ross painting with like, you know, fucking, what is it called? I'm trying to think of the funny name, the Phthalo white, Phthalo green, Phthalo yellow, and the magic white. And it's like that's all he's got, you know. Anthony Starr is suited to play Albert Wesker in a movie. I guess so. I saw him in one movie and he was fucking terrible. What movie was that? It was the movie about, it was like one of those Amazon action movies about like the female president or something, like getting into some action scenario overseas, and Anthony Starr played is it Anthony Starr played the bad guy? I thought he was so fucking bad. It was like watching an 80s action movie with a terrible villain. You know, it was like kind of fun. It was so bad, it was sort of fun. But I was also like, oh shit. Just another example of somebody that's probably just a TV actor, you know? Maybe he doesn't want to, or maybe he did some weird shit that we don't know about. I don't know. Well, now you're just being silly. How are you doing, Dominic, man? Great to see you, bud. Paula, I put together a video. I'm editing it later on tonight. I get very spirited, and I'll say really quickly, I was pretty disappointed. I was, pretty damn disappointed, I'd say. Let's see, what else do we got here? They're a little bit, Jamie, and I'll take some credit for that. So let's go ahead and get back to it, guys. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So, witness testimony. Let me bring it up here. There we go. Guys, as far as witness testimony, I mean, I need to hear from you, and I need your honest thoughts. I know you're defending it, but I need your honest thoughts here. What do you guys think put this franchise in the spot that it's at? Was it the 2010 film alone? Was it Wes unfortunately passing away? And then just, you know, the rights are in a standstill because, you know, maybe there's no one around that has the rights that wants to do anything with them. Is that what killed this thing? What would revive it? You know, is the Craven estate waiting for a good pitch? Or are they just waiting to, I don't know what, like the longer they wait, the more money they think the project could make. I don't know. What would revive this franchise? And then really, I mean, I guess as far as other witness testimony, it's like, think about interviewing the franchise itself. Like, let's just think about like we're actually interviewing the movies and we're asking them in a comedic kind of self-aware way, you know, let's throw some of that meta in there. You know, how do these movies feel, right? Totally inconsistent, like we were talking about. The lore's all over the place. I mean, Dream Master is, I think, a really solid, for a fourth movie, for a third sequel in a franchise, I think it's one of the best movies in the franchise, but no one's really given it that love other than a handful of people, right? So maybe people are coming around on that, but this poor franchise, you know, how does Dream Child feel? Shit's boring as fuck. And then Freddy's Dead. I mean, if the best thing you can say about Freddy's Dead is that the Goo Goo Dolls have a cool song on the soundtrack, and I mean, I guess the big positive I'll say is I think when they're showing non-dream Freddy and Freddy's Dead, when we're actually going back to the memories of his daughter and all of that stuff, that is chilling and frightening and scary. And that's probably the thing that Freddy's Dead does best. But no one ever talks about that, right? Everyone's like, don't forget the power glove. Like, that's what people talk about when they think of and talk about Freddy's Dead. Or they talk about Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold. And, you know, we get sidetracked by talking about things that don't really have anything to do with it. Like Johnny Depp comes back for a cameo. Fucking what? Breckin Meyer's in there. Like, we're not even talking about the story of the movie anymore. So, I mean, this poor franchise, if you're sitting there interviewing it on the witness stand, the movies themselves probably feel taken advantage of because they didn't get to reach their fullest potential. And here we are, 2010 reboot, nothing after it. I mean, it was bad enough with the Friday the 13th reboot that we didn't get anything for a good long while, but shit, at least we've got movement now. And last on the witness testimony, or, you know, the witness stand is Freddy himself. Does this guy deserve this? This lost franchise, this dead franchise? We got a dream demon that's got no one to haunt because no one wants to tell his story. I feel bad for Freddy. I honestly feel bad. I think, and like, seriously, guys, all joking aside, because I say honestly, and we're playing like a WWF game here, cutting together a promo. But honestly, like, even though I give the franchise a lot of shit, I would love to see an awesome version of Freddy come back. I think Freddy totally works. I think it's about putting the right things around him that makes it something that can be lasting. So, yeah, I mean, as far as the testimony goes, I don't think Freddy would have much good to say about this franchise. You know, I think Freddy would have a lot good to say about us, the fans, for keeping him alive and wanting and not letting the franchise die, even though it's essentially at that point now. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to jump in and see what you guys are saying. What kind of questions would you ask if Freddy were on the witness stand, or if you were able to interview films, which I know is a crazy concept? What kind of questions would you ask? Let's see what you guys are saying down in the comments, or in the chat rather. No one wants to talk about the family stuff from Freddy's Dead because it pissed all over Wes's original idea of Freddy. That's one of the reasons Talele wasn't involved in New Nightmare. Oh, I did not know that, Lido. I still think it's a chilling part of the movie because the movie doesn't really bring any other scares, but I totally get that. Like, crossing that line of or explaining something that Wes didn't want explained, or didn't want explained or explored in that way. Totally get that. I do think he's freaky as hell. And that's just a testament to Robert's performance. Like, I find him genuinely scary in those moments, and very off-putting, right? I'm sure there's been that conversation. I really don't know. As far as I know, the Craven kids are very private. I mean, I don't see a lot about him, right? It's not like Malik Akkad, Mustafa's son, that's now the producer for the Halloween movies. It's not, you know, we don't have that public, there's not like that public persona that's out there. Or even like what with other franchises, like having Kevin Williamson out there with Scream, or, you know, back in the glory days, Sean S. Cunningham with Friday the 13th. Like, we kind of knew the mouthpieces of the franchise. Right now, and another reason why I think A Nightmare on Elm Street is lost is right now we don't have one. We don't have a singular voice for Freddy. There's no lighthouse we can look to. There's no beacon of hope. There's just nothing. And silence is the worst thing right now with this franchise. We got Carrie Crave Cinema jumping on in. What's happening, Carrie? Great to see you. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining us. I am Excitebike for Evil Dead Burn. Yes, I did a whole 20-minute breakdown video, all that stuff. So yeah, check that out if you haven't, Noah. But yes, I'm very, very Excitebike. You know, Excitebike is one of the first games I got on the NES. My family took a trip out to California in 1987. I was 5 years old, and I remember getting Ghosts and Goblins and Excitebike at a video game store in the LA area. It's not the same without Wes, says KB. We saw that in the comeback with New Nightmare. Freddy is not the same without him. Wes's movies are the best ones. Yeah, They are the best ones. And even, you know, he like produced on 3 and helped write 3 and stuff. So you can see that another reason why there was some quality there to that film. And yeah, it's very true. It's very true. It's more true as far as like Wes's other works. You know, there's no other work that has his fingerprint and that hinges on his vision more than A Nightmare on Elm Street, you know? All right, let's see what else we got going on here. It is, yeah. But I totally get what you're saying. I did not, well, if I knew that, I had totally forgotten it. Some things you hear and then you memory dump or they become Mandela effect. But Lito, I know you're, guys, if you don't know Hollywood Lito, he is the trusted voice on A Nightmare on Elm Street lore and knowledge and all that stuff. Lito is, I would imagine, probably a top 5 or top 10 A Nightmare on Elm Street historian, as far as we know. Don't forget the power glove. It's just so ridiculous, isn't it? I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a PG-13 sci-fi movie. We got Eli Cortez jumping on in. What's happening, Eli? One of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for kicking it, Eli. See what else we got here. Thank you, Eli. You're too nice, man. You're too nice. Appreciate you. Oh, they should partially reboot the plot for Freddy versus Jason. It's been so long. Him trying to find a way back into the subconscious minds of the town would be cool. They could do it with social media. I mean, basically, like Smile kind of is doing that. And maybe that's one of the reasons why A Nightmare on Elm Street's having a tough time coming back, is there are franchises that are doing like a lot of the things that it used to do. Well, I already mentioned Final Destination, right? The creative kills, the Rube Goldberg machine kills in Final Destination are very much like the fun creative kills in A Nightmare on Elm Street. So there's that. There's also even like little movies like Whistle that I've talked about here, very much felt like kind of A Nightmare on Elm Street in a lot of ways. And yeah, Smile, you know, the whole like, all you have to do is like spread this image or spread this thought and it turns into this thing that infects other people, right? But they certainly could do, like you're saying, like it's not Jason that's making people remember, but it's some sort of viral video or some sort of like ad campaign or something that everyone's on their phone. So Freddy can go worldwide. You know, you could just call it Worldwide Freddy. Be kind of fun. Oh, Bubble Bobble. So good. Double Dribble. I love the voice stuff on Double Dribble. That's better right there. Like, what did you just say? Why did they do that on those old games? It's like not even close. Not even close. Let's see here. Let's see. Jamie, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I think Noah is cool. Noah's all good. But I appreciate you just reminding people. And really, guys, it's like the off-topic stuff. Like I really, for me, it's like kind of whatever. But yeah, we'll talk about Nightmare on Elm Street for a little bit more, and then we'll hang for a bit, and you guys can talk about whatever. But let's jump on over to the next thing here. What do we got? Okay, guys, I mean, really, we're just kind of on our closing arguments and the verdict and everything. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. David, welcome on in. Welcome on in. One of our great channel members right there. Welcome. Carrie says, Nightmare on Elm Street, overall, I feel it's a very fun franchise. I do feel like there could be more Freddy love. Or Freddy lore, sorry, it's limitless, but it would be sad without Wes. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. I think they can move on. They've just got to, man, they need a good script. They need to find an unknown. There's a way to do this. There's a way to do it. And there's a way to do it that honors people like Wes and Robert. I truly believe that. And let's go ahead and go on over to closing arguments. Okay, guys. So maybe I should get a poll going right now because I want to know from you guys. All right, so this is going to be the last poll, and I'm running it now so we can let it run for a little bit before the end of the stream here. Is A Nightmare on Elm Street guilty of being a lost franchise? Okay. And you don't have to vote right away. If you want to hear the closing arguments first, if you already made up your mind, like, totally get it, we can roll with that. I'm not going to fault you for it. But let's jump into some closing arguments here, guys. I'm just going to, you guys know how I feel about this. And I'm the one that's been doing most of the talking here. So I'm not going to get too fiery or dramatic with my closing argument. But we're looking at inconsistency in tone, inconsistency with the lore, sometimes even inconsistency with how Freddy looks. And I'm not even talking just New Nightmare. I'm talking like in 4 and 5, or 5 and Freddy's Dead, we're really losing something there. And I think that even though he technically looks like more realistic in the 2010 remake, I don't think it's a very interesting look. And just more consistency problems. That voice was terrible. None of the lines worked anyway, or either. But yeah, this movie, inconsistent tone, inconsistent with the lore. It's been up and down. We haven't had a fresh movie in 16 years. There was a really big break between Freddy versus Jason and the remake even. So we're looking at really big gaps between Freddy's Dead, Freddy versus Jason, and the remake. And here we are 16 years later, and we're not even talking about the possibility. We don't even, no studio has the rights. No one's developing anything that we know of. If it's being developed, it's being developed in secret. And we don't even know how the rights holders feel about this. The rights holders are being, pretty private about everything. So all of that leads me to believe that this is absolutely a lost franchise. Now, saying that, I don't mean that it's never going to come back, but does it have a compass? Does it have a direction? Are there any plans for the future? No, no, no. To me, that seems pretty lost. So that's gonna close my argument here for this one. I'm curious to know what you guys have to say as far as overall closing arguments, and then we will see how you all are voting here. I don't think there's enough evidence for an acquittal, unfortunately. What's happening, Kanan? So how this works, we're kind of at the end of it right now. It's all for fun. It's all totally silly. I put a poll out there to the audience, and I'm like, which topic should we debate in a courtroom kind of setting? And so this time it was like, is Sidney Prescott's overrated? Found footage is, terrible. And like the Nightmare on Elm Street's a lost franchise. So I usually just try to pick like the less popular opinion, let the chat have it a little bit easier. And one of us prosecutes, the other defends. So like I defended Halloween Resurrection in the first episode. I was like, I'm going to give it my all. And then we just kind of go down a courtroom kind of scenario. So it's all for fun. I let you guys vote on I let you guys vote on the finality of it all and everything. Jamie, you're totally all right. I'm not trying to undercut anyone or anything. I just yeah, whatever. If I have something to say about that stuff, I appreciate you being sweet about it, Jamie. I want everyone to have a good time here. So yeah, including you, Jamie. You better have a good time. Okay, so where are we at now with the poll? So wow, 18 votes, 72% of you are saying that it is guilty of being a lost franchise. And guys, I hope it comes back. Like I want all of these franchises to thrive, regardless of where they all sit as far as like my favorite. I don't really I play favorites just for my own fun of it all, but it's like, oh, come on. Like, I'd be such a jerk to be like, I don't want Freddy to be like, fuck those movies. Like, no, not at all. I think it would be awesome if they all came back in their own time and in their own way. And of course, in a way that is, celebrates what came before it and gives the fans, a little something new. Like, let's have some fun with it and all that. So thanks, man. I appreciate you. Kanan, not publicly calling you out to appear on the show, but I see you pop in a lot when Cecil's on and everything, and I've seen you pop in occasionally. I really love what you do, man. Like, so there's I go to, guys, if you don't follow Ghost Pirate Entertainment, I'd imagine you probably do. But as far as lists of what movie should I be watching, newer movies and older movies, I got two people I go to. Kanan from Ghost Pirate Entertainment, and that's usually for like some newer stuff, you know, some stuff that's like popping right now that I might not know about. And then Daniel from the Cobwebs channel, and that's more of like what's some weird shit from the 70s or 80s that I haven't seen yet. And so yeah, Kanan's great for that. His channel is awesome. It's not all he does over there. Just one of those things that I recognize about his channel that sort of sets him apart, right? So yeah, let me see some of your guys' closing arguments here. I saw one from Jamie that I wanted to make sure to grab. I concur. I think it's a lost franchise, but does have the potential for redemption given the right cast and writing. And how about this? Another cool thing, Jamie, because I know you're pretty vocal about, you know, just the franchise is kind of taking a rest and taking a break. I think it's been enough. I think it's been long enough, right? I don't know. I don't know if you would agree with me, Jamie, but like 16 years away from Freddy, like if a Nightmare on Elm Street film were announced and you liked what you were seeing as far as director and casting or something, like I'd imagine you'd be ready. Like you would be ready and you would be welcoming, even though for the most part you want franchises to take a break. It's been long enough of a break, right? So there you go. I met Mark Patton from Friday the 13th part 2. Wait, Mark Patton, but no, isn't Mark Patton? He's in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Okay. Yeah. I've never met, man, have I ever met anyone from, I don't know if I've ever met anyone from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Oh my God. I mean, I met Dave McRae. He's not officially connected, but in my head he is. Realism doesn't always translate well cinematically. The makeup in the 09 proves the hell out of that. Exactly. Like it's okay that I get what they're going for, but I would rather see some stylization in my horror. Yeah. I feel so bad. Again, Jackie Earle Haley's so good. He deserved better as far as the script goes. And that's just, let's bring somebody in that's unknown. Let's do the horror world a solid. Let's create a star by casting somebody that's relatively unknown as Freddy. If we want to follow the blueprint, we want to try to recreate the magic, let's literally try to follow some of the steps. Not gonna lie, Worldwide Freddy would be an awesome show. Just crazy kills in each episode based on a different part of the world. Yeah, it's like a prank show or something like that. It's like some sort of prank thing. I think I will. I've heard really good things, Prince. Maybe a hot take. I don't care about consistent lore between films. Okay. As long as they're making the best individual film they can, if they have to sacrifice lore from a previous film to do so, that's fine. Yeah, I think in general, I get what you're saying here, Papa John. Like, if you're watching, say you're watching these movies as they came out, you're not remembering year to year, like, wait a minute, it didn't make sense in the last movie when he did this. But when I've noticed when I watch like around spooky season, like last October, I watched all of them like within a week. Like I just watched, one of them a night. And it just really hit me. I was like, fuck, this franchise is a fucking mess. And like, I'm saying that as a Halloween fan, guys. Like I'm fully fucking aware of the problems in Halloween, but damn, A Nightmare on Elm Street, like it is wild. I have the body. You have the body. I have the brains. There you go. There's a little Freddy for you. Yeah. Right script, Jared fucking Bankins. All right, Aaron Click, here we go. Closing arguments. A Nightmare on Elm Street is not a lost franchise, no matter what the state of it is right now. We all know it's too big not to come back. It's just stopping to smell the roses right now. And that's a very good point. That is a very good point, Aaron. Dormant, not dead. Is that fair? Let's see what you guys are saying. I mean, right now we're at 22 votes. 23 votes. It's a 70-30 split. You know what? I'm going to show some grace. Guys, I'm in a new era of showing gratitude, grace, forgiveness, moving on, like truly just letting some shit go. Freeing yourself of that burden is amazing. That's just my own little public service announcement. If there's something in your life that's bugging you, maybe you can't figure out why, and maybe the reason you can't figure out why is because really there's no reason it should, and it's just time to let it go. So I'm going to let this one go. And I'm inspired by Aaron here, guys. We're going to continue the conversation. Don't worry. Let's go ahead and we'll wrap up the courtroom focused part of it. And we'll just kind of have a free chat from here for a bit. But yeah, Aaron, do you agree to these terms? Dormant, not dead. Can we agree on that? To me, I mean, still, I think it is lost, but I don't think there's zero hope or anything like that. Nathan, don't worry. It's just our second episode, and there's a reason why I'm not a professional, but I'm trying, man. And we'll fine tune it, guys. The horror courtroom is going to get better and better. Seriously, if you have any questions or if you have any like suggestions on how like it could be more fun for you guys, I want you all to be as like participatory as possible. I want as much of that participation. I think you guys know that about me. So if there's anything you got, jump into the comments, put it in the live or whatever. You could put it publicly out in the Discord or whatever. Plenty of ways to get a hold of me for sure. Yeah. And my worry, Kanan, is that the people that can make it happen, they just aren't interested. It would make me, even if I just heard like, hey, they're talking to people. Like, hey, the Craven Estate is talking to like this studio and that studio, like just something. The fact that we're not hearing anything makes me really nervous, and maybe they're just getting all their ducks in a row, and maybe they're having secret talks that we don't know about. But yeah, it is pretty wild. Yeah, man, we'll connect. I'll reach out to you on. I'm not sure if Insta is a good way to get a hold of you, but just let me know the best way, and I'll reach out and we'll get something cooking. Daniel, dude, and he's so positive. I mean, same thing with Kanan. Like, guys, I think, sometimes I could have a tendency of being a little bit, giving into the negative side too early, which is another thing I'm working through in my personal life. Trying to be nicer to myself and others and all that stuff. But yeah, the positivity, man, it's just like, oh my God. He makes me want to go watch, like, guys, I like movies that are like kind of bad. I don't know if bad's the right term. Just sort of like, I don't mind movies that aren't, I don't know, like I like going back and watching those Hammer films and watching films that are trying to do a lot with little. Like I love the ambition and everything like that. So when he talks about like Paul Naschy films and everything like that on his channel, I'm talking about Daniel. I'm like, dude, I got to watch these movies. And with Kanan, I'm like, I need to run to Tubi. I need to run to the damn Tubi. It will be back, and Leto will play Freddy. Maybe. Craven Estate is just being cautious for sure. Don't let radio silence touch it, please. Please don't. Exactly. Thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate you. Yeah. There you go, guys. If you're not already following, if you like keeping up on what's going on out there and you love horror content, then yeah, they're getting the recommends from everyone. I love it, guys. Guys, this is what this community, this is what we are. This is amazing. Like, building each other up, sharing each other's stuff, debating whether or not A Nightmare on Elm Street's a dead franchise, dormant, not dead, or lost. It is lost, but hopefully not forever. Yeah, guys, this has been really fun. Let's keep on chatting and see what else we got. Binged them the first time when I watched them, and the inconsistent lore never bothered me. Dude, I need some of that, Papa John. Give me whatever you got. And I guess yeah. I wasn't bothered. I just noticed it for sure. I don't know what it is. Guys, I get myself in trouble for being too observant sometimes. It gets you in trouble. I think if Texas Chainsaw has success, we'll see Nightmare on Elm Street soon. Yeah, Friday the 13th, that show, I think everything's looking good. It's tracking really well. I think Curry Barker taking on Texas Chainsaw is probably about the best possible outcome. And then with JT Molnar doing the TV show, holy shit. I think you're onto something there, Kanan. The Craven Estate might just be taking a step back and, seeing and thinking to themselves, like, are these things going to work? Is this model going to work of doing a TV show and then rolling a TV show into a movie? Because it looks like that's what TCM's doing after seeing what's been going on with Friday the 13th. So it seems like they're following that model. They've got a good feeling. So maybe we can hope that what the Craven Estate is doing is they're keeping an eye on how this business model works. And they're like, okay, well, do we do the same thing? TV show, then a movie? I also think, and this has been brought up a couple times, Cecil brought this up on my channel. I've totally parroted this sentiment because I think it's really damn solid. I believe in it so much that I'm willing to be like, yeah, I'm putting my stamp on this one fully. I think a Nightmare on Elm Street video game would be a great way to really bring Freddy back. Again, people know Freddy as far as the icon goes, but let's get a younger generation playing the game and learning about the lore and learning about some of these characters, maybe going back and watching some of the old movies. A video game can be a very powerful tool. We're seeing that with the Halloween video game that's coming up here in September. Man, there are a lot of kids that are playing these games. There are kids that, like, you know, their parents are probably my age, so I grew up with Halloween. Maybe those kids haven't seen it. Once they start playing that Halloween video game and they're online with their friends running around, they're going to want to watch those old movies, you know? And it's a really cool way to gauge public interest, you know? And a video game, I'm not sure what the cost is. I don't know if a video game's as expensive as like a TV show, but there's got to be a way where, you know, they could do like a soft rollout, gauge interest, and then go from there. Currently unloading silverware from my dishwasher. It has me thinking about Evil Dead Burn. Hey now, don't spoil anything for Jamie. I'm serious, guys. We can't spoil it for Jamie. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Yeah, I mean, guys, I did my whole breakdown. Instead of me, I'm totally cool with you guys talking Evil Dead Burn. I'm going to try as much as I can not to, because I really just want to encourage you to check out the video. I don't do pre-recorded content a lot here, guys. You know, I'm here live with you. The pre-recorded content is really healthy for the channel in ways that the lives just aren't, you know, because of the subscribership and all that kind of stuff. But the pre-recorded videos do so well for building this community and helping us grow. So I'll keep all my Evil Dead thoughts to that video and just point you guys over there. But I will absolutely scroll through some chats and nod and smile. Iris says they need someone not afraid of lawsuits, can use imagination and no CGI. And I would say this with the CG, it's like, so if they mocapped Robert, you'd have to replace him with CG, and I'm totally okay with that aspect, especially if we're able to capture a Robert performance. But yeah, I think for the most part, when it comes to horror, people want to see practical, and you can always, there's always room for the digital to be worked in. But it would be, yeah, having the practical be the main thing, and then using the digital to complement it, or using the digital to do things that just aren't possible. I am not a practical effects purist, but I would prefer them, and I give them more credit because I know that it's really tough. But I think what computers can do, like, it's such an impressive tool, and I absolutely think computers should be used when it fits, you know? Okay, so there's a few people trying to make a new Nightmare film. Okay, a producer friend that's been working on. Okay, so some stuff is sounds like some conversations are being had in the background, and we just haven't seen any of that stuff publicized. And I guess this is good news. Thank you, Kanan. I mean, I guess this is good news. This is good news. And yeah, hopefully they're able to work something out, and we get something official. That'd be great. Pretty good. I like it, Aaron. You got me. Second favorite franchise is TCM and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I guess I prefer Diamonds in the Rough over consistency. Hey, dude, fair is fair. I mean, the highs are very high in both of those franchises, for sure. I think the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is an absolute classic and a film that I love it so much, but it makes me feel so dirty at the same time. Like I have to take a shower, and there's something so unique and special about that first TCM. Offered a couple dopey comments about A Nightmare on Elm Street that I removed after posting them. I don't know. I think they are on StreamYard, Nathan, but the chat's been kind of flying. And some of these nights where I'm like being a little bit more of a host or like having more of an agenda, I just miss some more super chats. So, or regular chats. So not trying to miss anyone's, not purposely missing anything for sure. Okay, so they're just waiting. It sounds like they're waiting for the right pitch. Yeah, maybe they need to call Cecil. Call Cecil, bring Heather back, get Johnny back. Like, let's get the whole friggin' team back together. It would be great. It'd be great. Ooh, all right. Can't say how. Okay, so guys, we've got some low-key insiders here. Kanan and Hollywood Lido. All right. That's good to know, guys. So nothing official. But that sort of changes a little bit the makeup of the conversation we've had here today. You know, that playing card or holding their cards close to the vest. I can totally respect that. So that's good to know. That's good to know. They're just waiting for the right story. If the new TCM or Chucky movies make bank, then that would get the ball rolling. Yep. And if that Friday the 13th show does well, that's going to certainly help. Yeah. No, I think they're waiting on to see how some things go and to see how people react. Thumbnail caught my attention. Davey Deathray kept my attention. Thank you so much, Uncle Filthy. I appreciate you. Yes, there was some AI used in the thumbnail. Guys, I do both. I just want everyone to know. I know no one's giving me shit, but I do both. Sometimes when you're spending a lot of time working on a hobby, you just want a couple things to be easier, right? Let's see what else we got. Yeah, keep them away from anything we care about. Yeah. It's so deep that has Freddy killed the franchise while it's been asleep? I don't know. So it looks like Kanan and Leto have some mutual friends. All right, I love that. It's true. Yeah, and they got to be careful. You really do have to be careful. You know, so really quick, I'll say this just about Evil Dead in general, just not even talking about Burn, you know, like the reason why I think Evil Dead's the best franchise in horror is basically because of the producing team. It's Sam Raimi, it's Rob Tappert, and it's Bruce Campbell. And with the first 3 films, it was even more Sam Raimi because he's, you know, writing and directing them and everything. But, you know, guys, go back to 2010. No whispers about an Evil Dead movie happening. You know, we just had the 3 movies at that point. It had been quite a while, almost 20 years. You're thinking it's never coming back. And then boom, 2013 happens. The TV show happens. I really enjoyed that as well. Evil Dead Rise, I thought was pretty solid. I wanted it to do more, but I still think it's a solid, good movie. And we're living now with, you know, Burn coming out this year, Wrath coming out April 2028. And this just shows that the most important thing you can have for your horror franchise, whether it's, you know, when you're looking at consistency or even like quality, is having a good team of producers. You know, the right team that's assembling the greater team that's actually going to make the product. And it comes down to people knowing the property, which when it comes to Evil Dead, obviously these guys know the property. They are able to recognize young, up-and-coming talent, and they're able to recognize directors and filmmakers or, you know, storytellers that, you know, oh, they have a little something that looks like maybe they were inspired by what we did, or they like what we did with Evil Dead, right? When you're looking at Lee Cronin, and then you're looking at Sebastian Banachek, specifically those two, because Fede, I don't think Fede had done a feature-length film yet. But Fede fucking knocked it out of the park. So as far as I'm considered, the man is like, you know, golden. But yeah, you know, Sam, Rob, and Bruce know who to pick and what kind of trust to give them. I saw an interview with Bruce from a couple weeks ago or whatever, where he talks about he used to be more hands-on as a producer, but he lets Sam worry about that. And he doesn't want to be on the set if he's not in the show. So he's just like, I just like to let him go. I tell them they can come talk to me and ask me any questions if they need me. And then other than that, it's sort of like, show me when you're ready to show me the movie and we'll talk then. So it's that kind of like freedom and, you know, the producers taking the responsibility on themselves that gives the freedom to the filmmakers. And it's got to be a liberating, awesome atmosphere to work in. I think that's why we're seeing some really good movies from the Evil Dead franchise. And I think that's why Evil Dead's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And I think franchises like Friday the 13th, TCM, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, you know, even Chucky probably to a lesser degree, because Chucky's been pretty successful throughout. But maybe take a look at what Malik Akkad's been doing. Take a look at what Sam, Rob, and Bruce have been doing. And like, those are great examples of picking the right people and letting them go and letting them cook. Disney, same thing. Like, maybe pick somebody that actually likes Star Wars to make a fucking Star Wars movie. Like, you know, you could do that. What do we got here? Oh, Hush situation. Eventually you get a physical release. What are we talking here? Oh, some Netflix releases there. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Sorry, guys. I'm just behind on the chat. Just making sure we're not missing anyone. Sean, did I say hi to you earlier? I had to have. Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me I missed you, Sean. Guys, Sean G, or G, as he likes to be called, our great channel member there. Thank you so much, Paula. We love you. I'm Mr. Optimism now. I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. Trying my best. Never caught a live here. Wham was on and just ended their stream. Well, welcome on in, Ryan. I saw you had commented on my Evil Dead video, so thanks, man. I don't know if that's the first thing you found on the channel. Welcome in, man. I go live a lot. So right now we just got wrapped up with a Horror Courtroom, which is just like a fun sort of debate thing, but I cover horror news live. I have guests on. We have a lot of fun here, man. So if you like live streams, yeah, come hang out, hit that notification bell and you won't miss them. And I love, to me, audience engagement is just so critical. So you show up to one of my live streams, you will be listened to, you will be heard, you will be, chatted with. So, and the people in the friggin' chat, top notch. Like, I'm decent. These people are all stars. I met Tom Savini in person at a horror convention. Had him sign my Maniac Blu-ray and Night of the Living Dead remake he made, and Day of the Dead custom poster. Dude, Day of the Dead's my favorite zombie movie. Easily my favorite zombie movie. I like his Night remake as well. Maniac's pretty damn fun. Yeah, these are all, Savini's contribution is just endless, seemingly. And it's good to hear, it sounds like he was nice to you. I know I've heard this and I've heard that, and we're all people. Sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you have a bad day. What can you do? My mini pitch: I've always thought they should make a movie where Freddy haunts a high school film club and the dream sequences are sadistic recreations of popular movie scenes. Okay, they could do that. New Line's got a whole bunch in their repertoire. Guys, I want to let you know, because I am 9 months sober on alcohol, I have gotten into trying some non-alcoholic beverages. And I know this says Modelo Chelada, but you can see it says non-alcoholic. It was Cinco de Mayo yesterday, and I didn't want to spend, it was way too expensive to get non-alcoholic Corona. So I just went with something else. So just want to let you guys know we're all good. It's fake near beer or whatever they call it. Going to the Living Dead weekend at the Monroeville Mall with the biggest reunion of Dawn of the Dead cast members next month. Oh my God. That sounds incredible. And I know they're taking that mall down. So, oh man, have some extra fun for us, Jeff, those that can't make it. Maybe take some extra pictures for us. We'd love to live through your experience. I hope it's an amazing time, man. I hope you get to meet everyone and have a great time with with everyone. Galen Ross, of course, Ken Faree. I was able to meet Ken Faree at H45. He was amazing. Got my picture taken with him. He signed a custom Dawn poster. Scott Reiniger is your other guy, and I believe David Emge. I believe he's passed on now. But hopefully you have a great time, man. Love to hear more about that experience when you're back from it. Let's see what else we got. It's the first thing I found. That's awesome, man. I love it. I'm very, just to give you, I'll give you the quick and dirty on Davey Deathray. Music is my first love, but I absolutely adore movies. All sorts of movies, horror and comedy are just my favorites. So I decided to talk mostly about horror here on the channel. So, Evil Dead's my favorite horror franchise of all time. Halloween's my favorite slasher franchise. I also like slow burn, like haunted house movies, like The Changeling with George C. Scott from 1980s, one of my favorites. I don't know what else we got, but it's so encouraging to see you jump in here, Ryan. I need to do more pre-recorded videos. I think that's what I'm learning. And guys, I gotta be honest, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable recording them. And it takes the live voice, and I mean voice, like the whole thing about going live, is just way more natural and comfortable for me for whatever reason. And the pre-recorded stuff always had made me nervous, but I'm getting to the point where I'm getting way more comfortable. So thank you guys for your patience. You're going to get more pre-recorded content here. It might be a little more stripped down and a little more, seemingly casual like this, but you got to work with what works, right? Evil Dead 2 is my favorite horror movie, dude. That Evil Dead 2 is my favorite in the franchise. When I first got into the franchise, I was like 16. It was the late 90s. Me and my friends, we stayed up all night. I grew up in Juneau, Alaska. We stayed up all night and watched them. The sun was up by the time Army of Darkness was finishing. And Evil Dead 2, man, was just that perfect tone. I love it so much. As I've gotten older, I've liked the meaner tone of the movies in the franchise. But I love them all. I don't even it's such a slim margin. I mean, Evil Dead 2, if anyone asked me to put on any of the Evil Dead movies at any given time, I would say yes. I'm fucking down. Let's roll. Oh my God, dude. Martin. Oh, that movie's so good. Guys, watch George A. Romero's Martin if you've not seen it. I think it's absolutely incredible. It has some of the best editing I've ever seen in my life. John Amplis is so good. George is in there as well, as his wife at the time was in there also. I think Tom Savini's got a little role. It's really good. It's really damn good. It's probably the best vampire movie I've ever seen that's outside of your traditional kind of gothic style. It's a very different kind of vampire film, and yeah, really, really good stuff. Wait, we have brownies? What the hell? What the H? So Jeff, there's a Discord link in the description. Yeah, so you can join us over there. There's a little bit of an application process because we're age restricted, and we just had some, I just wanted to, I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but I just want to make sure that the people that are there in the Discord are there to hang out in the Discord and not do other stuff. Hello, Aunt Alicia. Well, he might not have had one, but Dr. Frankenstein did. We can pretty much, be assured of that. That's what I've heard. I never watched that show, Billy. I was too old for that show. So by the time even with all that, I was too old for Nickelodeon, for that kind of Nickelodeon. Maybe still watching Are You Afraid of the Dark, though? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Day of the Dead, the effects are fucking bonkers. Bonkers. I'm not going to argue with that one, brother. Yeah, we can sing in that choir together. All right. Yeah, no, it's true. It's fucking incredible. I think my bottom in the ranking is Rise, but I've grown to like it more and more every time I've watched it. I got no hate for, when you do a ranking, someone's got to be in the bottom, right? But yeah, they're not a bad movie. Yeah, it's so much fun. I might have to watch it tonight, guys. I don't know. I've got editing to do. Shit. Sometimes I just want to have fun, Sometimes Davey just wants to fucking have a night off. You know what I mean? But it's okay, guys. It's a fun. Honestly, doing this is so much fun. The grind is worth it. All that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep on plugging away. All that kind of good stuff. Let me see here. What do we got coming up here on the channel? Sorry, guys. I just want to take a look at that. And let me take a look. What do we got coming up here on the channel? We've got... Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Friday night, May 8th. We've got the ultimate horror bracket, guys. Now, remember when we did those streams where you voted on the best horror movie from each year, 1960 through 2025? Remember, we went through all of that. We figured out what is the best of every year. You guys voted on all those. We're going to do a whole bracket. Guys, 66 movies. 2 movies are getting a bye. The movies that are getting a bye based on your guys' votes, I believe, are Jaws and Halloween. Jaws and Halloween have a bye, so they get to skip the first round, but they are not free from, or, they still have to compete in the second round. So it's going to be a big ol' bracket tournament, and you guys are going to vote on each one of these. We're going to figure out which horror movie from 1960 to 2025 is the #1 champ. I'm very curious to see what you guys end up voting in there. And then other than that, guys, for the members on Monday, I've got a horror movie club. We're going to be covering Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and we're going to be diving into the more literary thematic kind of elements. I mean, do those even exist in these movies? That will be part of the conversation. So for all you channel members, that's Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're not yet a channel member, you can join up for as little as $1 a month. So 99 cents a month would get you there if it's something you're interested in, just to let you know. And there's no requirement or anything to do that. I just want to let you guys know what we got cooking. Again, guys, Saturday the 16th, Foz Rotten and I are going to be back with Movie Punks live. We are going to watch, discuss, and celebrate SLC Punk, starring Matthew Lillard. It is such a great movie. I hope you dig it, and I hope you have a lot of fun. And then we got a whole bunch of other cool stuff lined up this weekend as well. Oh, I will be on Horror's channel on Sunday. If you guys do not follow M over at Horror, let me bring up her channel link so I can drop it in the chat. I will be, wait, let me just make sure. So that will be a members only. That is Saturday. So my bad on that one. And then on the 17th of May, I'll be appearing on the public side. So if you're a channel member over at Horror's, on Horror's channel, you can join us on Saturday. Thank you so much for dropping that, Eli. I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you. You are awesome. Were you born in a barn? Army of Darkness is greatness. I never said it wasn't. And I said Rise was the lowest in the ranking. I mean, they're all great. They're all great. Can't wait for the Day of the Dead 4K, dude. You and me both, brother. You and me both, brother. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Let's see. Guys, since it seems like no one was really into the Venmo thing, totally cool. We can just roll with super chats. Seems like you guys are more comfortable with that. So let's just do that. We'll just do that, and I'll just drop the other thing. And the people that if you wanted to do the Venmo thing or whatever, you guys all know about it. So I just won't bring it up anymore in any of the streams. And yeah. There we go. We'll just roll that way for the rest of the time. And yeah, I don't know if you guys got anything else for me? Let's see. What do you got for me, you guys? Born in a barn. Eli, how dare you? We love Eli. Pillar of the horror community. I'm still amazed that's Patricia Tolman in an Army of Darkness. You mean, is it the actress is Embeth Davids, I think, something like that. That'll be pretty awesome. And Chris, I mean, I'm editing my Melissa Barrera variety video tonight, so you guys will have an idea of how I feel about all that stuff. And then, yeah, on the 17th, we're going to be jumping in and talking some controversial Scream talk. So super fun. Same. I caught a little bit of it on the USA Network. My brothers would quote the lines. They'd be like, "Give me some sugar, baby." I had no idea. And then even after I saw like the last 15 minutes on like the USA Network or whatever, TBS or whatever it was, I was talking to a friend online. I used to do ICQ and MIRC back in the late 90s, guys, when I was in high school. And I talked to my buddy Pat from Montreal, however you say it. And I was like, he was telling me about Evil Dead, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds interesting." And I'm like, "What about this movie called Army of Darkness?" And he's like, "Dude, Army of Darkness is the Evil Dead, dummy." So I had no idea when I watched Army of Darkness that it was connected to anything else. No friggin' clue. And then even like matter of fact, I went and saw Evil Dead in the theater a couple weeks ago with Joe from Media Poop Shoot, who's in the chat. We live in the same neighborhood, and my brother Matt went along. He's about 10 years older than me. He works in the entertainment industry and everything like that. And it was their first time watching Evil Dead in the theater. My brother was like, "I thought I had seen that movie," but really what it was is that he and his friends would rent Evil Dead 2. So super cool to see, like, I don't know. I just think it's cool to, with a movie like that, these movies that are so old, people are still discovering them. They're still finding some joy in them. And the Evil Dead, man, shit's got layers. This is a textured franchise, people. Those are my two favorite words lately. Textured and layers. Thank you for sharing that, Eli. Yeah, guys, check out Chris and Shell. When I'm in the middle of one of my all-nighters, I go in there and wow, the form that Davey Deathray is in on the chat over on Chris and Shell's, live streams, It's a different Davey. It's a different Davey that's in that chat. 4 in the morning, you know, being crazy. You lucky duck. I've seen Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 in the theater. I never saw Army of Darkness in the theater, I don't think. These are, you know, second runs in the theater. It looked so good in the theater the other week at AMC. Jamie, it was amazing. I mean, and Fight Club looked unreal. Like how good Fight Club looked, that blew me away. 4K remaster, like it still had the film grain. It was so good. But yeah, I've seen 2013 a whole bunch. So I've seen them all in the theater except for Army of Darkness. Nathan, thank you so very much, man. I really do appreciate it. $20 super chat from our guy. And for 20 bucks, guys, he could have put a big old chat there because you pay for the characters. Such a stand-up guy. Just saying, for your trip. Thank you so much, Nathan. I really do appreciate you, man. All the support you guys give me is absolutely incredible. I never want that to be lost, which is why I talk about it a lot. And maybe I talk about it a little bit more when people give me shit and make me, or try to make me feel bad. That there's some sort of exchange here. I'd like to think there's plenty of fun, free entertainment on the channel as well. And Nathan, I'm just, I'm moved by the contribution, man. It really means a lot. And I can't, guys, when I'm out there in New Jersey and we're out there having fun, like I'm going to make you guys a part of it as much as possible. I have a huge love and affinity for the East Coast. I was born in Connecticut. I lived in Bowie, Maryland. I've lived just outside of Annapolis, Maryland. I have family, friends in the Baltimore area, like the Bel Air, Maryland area. I've got friends in Haddonfield, New Jersey. Haddonfield. So, you know, family, friends, it goes back, not generations, but it goes back decades with like our parents are friends, you know, like some roots over there. And not only that, like, I appreciate so much about the East Coast. I like the attitude, the upfront way that they deal with each other. The food's friggin' amazing. There's so much culture over there and so many different cultures. And it's really easy to say like shit about New Jersey and talk crap about New Jersey. I've always had an awesome time. 2 of my favorite bands are from New Jersey. The Adventures of Pete and Pete was filmed out there. Like, give me a reason to hate New Jersey. I don't know. Like, maybe, okay, I'm a Capitals fan, so I can't root for the Devils. Like, you got me. But I'm so very much looking forward to it. And I just want the whole thing to be like a big celebration. I want you guys to feel like you're there, regardless of any sort of contribution. And the people that do contribute, I want them to have just a little more access, you know? Yeah, Death Squad, you guys fucking rule. Thank you so very much. Jamie, if it plays near you, you got to check it out. I think we need a prequel to Evil Dead that shows the madness that Professor Noby went through to get the book and then going home and having to fight off his wife, Henrietta. Yeah, I mean, it would be, they could work in a prequel that shows him dealing with some of that stuff. It sounds like on the tape that he's experiencing it for the first time. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened, but my throat just went. Don't worry, it's not an alcoholic. Yeah, I think Professor Noby could be involved in Evil Dead Burn. So isn't Ruby from the Ash vs. Evil Dead show? Is she a Noby? Ruby from Ash vs. Evil Dead. So they give Ruby Noby. Okay, guys. This is something I didn't even mention in my video. This is the thing when you do a breakdown video, even when it's a 20-minute video and you're going through breaking stuff down, there's still thoughts that don't occur to you, right? So Ruby from Ash vs. Evil Dead, her last name is Noby, same name as Professor Noby. And some of the stuff we've seen in the trailers, it looks like it could be Ruby's. I mean, to me, it looks exactly like Ruby's house from the TV show, including like diamond-shaped windows, you know, like parallelogram-shaped windows or whatever. So like the exact window and the exact like exterior of the house. So I think we could be seeing, and I'm trying to speak in a way that's not going to spoil anything for Jamie, as far as like the Necronomicon goes in this movie, maybe we're seeing something that belonged to Professor Noby. I'm getting that feeling. I'm getting these Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade vibes from the book, as far as like that Holy Grail diary goes, something like that. So this could be connected. I'm starting to think that this is connected to all of them, that it's going to blatantly connect the dots. We haven't really had that happen with 2013. I mean, the classic is in 2013. Evil Dead Rise has their references and stuff. The references are a little more subtle and a little more cute. I think we're going to get something with this movie where it's going to be very clear how it's connecting to pretty much every bit of the timeline, which I think is a really cool idea, because you could do something with Evil Dead Wrath in a couple years. They could do something really big. We already know that because of Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, we already know that there's like portals through time and space, right? So who's to say that we can't have Beth from Rise, Mia from 2013, Ash, and whoever our hero is in this new film, all meet up for some sort of, I don't know, some sort of wacky, crazy team movie. It would be really cool. Like a team up movie in the Evil Dead universe. I would take it, and it could be a little more comedic. You could totally go into that Evil Dead 2, maybe dip a toe into Army of Darkness level of humor. Because I don't think that should get lost. I think Evil Dead should always be kind of dynamic in its tone. I love that we're getting the more mean, serious stuff. Don't get me wrong. That's my preferred. But I do think it's only fair that we remember that Evil Dead is not just that. Evil Dead is slapstick, like, splat stick, like Three Stooges, and then even more splattery sticky like they do in Army of Darkness. So I think there's room for a lot in this franchise still. I think it's a very fertile fields, here for Evil Dead. And I'm just talking at the screen now. Because I had something to say. And Jamie, I really hope I didn't spoil anything. I tried to talk very, 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 very cleanly about it. What's happening, Six? Welcome on in. What a cute little kitty cat you've got in your logo. Sweet little kitty. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. I'm trying to figure out with Burn. I'm like, when does this take place? They're very like we have no inkling of when it takes place. For whatever reason, I think we're looking at like the mid 90s, because I'm picking up a grunge kind of look from our main female character, Alice. Kind of got a grunge sort of feel. 93, 94 is sort of like the year I'm picking up. So, but again, they haven't showed us enough to really nail it down. I kind of like, how 2013 didn't really say what the year was. They just didn't acknowledge that cell phones existed. And the cars were like late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. They picked like Subaru Outback and like a Jeep Wrangler. Like a Jeep Wrangler, like, only the biggest nerd would know exactly what year it's from, like year to year, right? So they put it in this like kind of a vacuum where it's like, we're not going to discuss these things that we don't really have to discuss. If you're making a horror movie and you don't have to talk about cell phones, just don't even bring them up. Oh man, I can't get a signal. No, you don't even have to say it. You just act like they don't exist. It's like once you break up with somebody, you just act like they don't exist. No contact. According to Google, Ruby is not blood related to the professor. She is a dark one. Well, Google, I don't know. I am here. I'll share something with you, because her name is Ruby Nobi. So I'll just share this link with you guys. That's the site that I'm looking at. It's a fandom wiki pretty much for the villains of Evil Dead. So yeah, the Ruby that we see in the show, I believe she has been, kind of taken over, but you would imagine that she started as a regular person, right? That Ruby Nobi is a real person. Maybe this is just her body and there's an entity inside of her that is corrupt. But at some point, she was a real person in this universe, right? So there you go. Just say earmuffs. Yeah. Try to be really careful, because what if she's not in this movie? Like, what if her character is in this movie and that we have no reason to believe that she is? But even if she's referenced, it could take place in a time where she hadn't been possessed yet. This movie, for all we know, could reveal how she becomes a demon, right? It looks like what they're doing in all these Evil Dead movies with 2013 and Burn, and then what we're seeing here in the international or the Red Band trailer. In 2013 we had I think they called it the Abomination. you know, that came after Mia at the end. And then we had that amalgamation in Evil Dead Rise and Evil Dead Burn. I think we've got a new big bad. I think we've got, I don't even know what we're going to call this guy. And I won't say anything because I want to gotta protect Jamie at all cost. But it fits in with the title. And to me, it looks like, oh, this isn't just a Deadite. This is something else. Like, this is some special entity. And I love that. I'm like, oh man, because the book is so vast, right? There's 3 volumes of the book. So the Deadites are just sort of like, they're the grunts, right? You're the Deadites. We're going to get them no matter what. No matter what the book, they're just part and parcel. They just come with them. We know what to expect from the Deadites. Some of them have the yellow and red and black eyes. Some of them have the cloudy, milky eyes. But they're pretty much the same kind of creature. But the Necronomicon is capable of so much more, right? So I think that's cool that each movie, instead of just in the first 3 movies, we don't really have that thing. You know, we have the tree monster in part 2, but it isn't really... I don't know. It feels like they're trying to make him more of a character in these newer movies, which I think is pretty awesome. And it just makes each movie kind of stand out a little bit in a different way. And maybe it explains why in Jason Goes to Hell, Jason is not a Deadite, but could be something else from the Necronomicon. Splattery, sticky paws. Oh, we're going to pause. Oh, God, we got to pause because it just got so splattery sticky in here. Oh, God. Burn takes place right after Rise. Jessica from the lake in Rise is trying to get home, I think. Okay. That's a good point. I mean, it looks exactly like her. We don't know the timetable, but that would like, yeah, we would assume it would be after. Yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how they connect that if they end up doing it. Is it possible the Dark One possessed and that body is related to Raymond? Related to Raymond. I don't know who Raymond is. Maybe a different character in the TV show. It's been a while since I've seen the TV show. I hope everyone has. Have a great night, Jamie. Yeah, guys, we're going to wrap it up here soon. Thank you so much for being here, Jamie, and being a moderator. You and Eli, I just want to give it up to you guys. It's been a lot on your guys' shoulders lately, and I really do appreciate you guys so much. And I think, yeah, I might wrap it up too, guys. I think it's time for a little dinner. It's 9:15, so I think it's okay to take a little break and have a little bite to eat. Some of them do, you know, what can you do? Some of them look like street people from when I lived in Portland. Oh, Raymond Noby. Okay, I was like, is he talking about Professor or somebody else? Yeah, so much more to speculate and postulate on, guys. I would say if you want to talk more Evil Dead, go on over to my breakdown, my frame-by-frame breakdown. Jump into the comments. We can talk about it all over there. I'm going to do more Evil Dead stuff. I'm not going to watch or react to the international trailer because I want to double dip on pretty much the same trailer, and I don't want to know anything else because I'm satisfied. I'm ready to go see the movie and let everything just sort of wash over me in real time watching the film. But we will talk about Evil Dead Burn as we lead up to that because I'm such a big fan. So if you want to talk more, jump into that video, into the comments. You could also become a channel member, and because for the every other week until Evil Dead Burn comes out, we're going to be talking about the Evil Dead franchise every other week with members only on live streams. So super fun stuff. Thank you for sharing that. Really do appreciate you, Eli. Big shout out to, of course, Eli and Jamie, our Death Squad mods. And thank you so much. And a shout out to our Patreon members and our YouTube channel members. You guys are incredible. Everyone that's given super chats, the people that are throwing money over to the Venmo to make this trip to New Jersey, everything it can be. You guys are amazing. Thank you so very much. And really, guys, just the support of showing up, watching the videos, hitting the like button, the easy stuff that's free. If you really dig what we do here, you can hype this stream. You could also hype that Evil Dead video. Let's see how big we can get that thing. I'm such a huge nerd for Evil Dead. I would love to, whatever I can do to make that part of my identity, because it's so much part of who I am. Like, I would love that opportunity, and you guys are a big part of making that happen. So, having said all that, we decided that A Nightmare on Elm Street is guilty of being a lost franchise. However, I showed some grace. We're going to say dormant, not dead. Okay, so lost, but not irredeemable. And I hope within the next 5 to 10 years, we get at least one, hopefully a couple, A Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think the fans deserve it. And I think for all the people like me that like Freddy, don't completely love, like he's not the favorite, you know, I think the people like me that are relatively lukewarm deserve another chance to see a new interpretation and see what it brings to the franchise and see if it changes kind of our feelings about everything. So could be great. We'll keep an eye on that. I appreciate Kanan and Hollywood Lido sharing what they know about everything. And as soon as there's some sort of official news or whatever, guys, we will talk about it here. That'll be, you know, internet breaking news for horror fans. So we'll talk about all that here. I will be back Friday night. Remember, we're going to do the bracket. It's going to be a big old tournament. Best horror movie from 1960 to 2025. Why do I keep on wanting to say 1925? 1960 to 2025 will crown the winner from 66 years of horror. And that's all you guys that are going to do that voting and all you guys that are going to make that possible and make it as fun as it can be. So I will see you at 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday night for that. And then, yeah, a whole bunch of other fun stuff lined up. So you guys have been beautiful. Thank you so very much. That is going to be it for me tonight. And gosh, all I got to say is I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. I hope you guys are all having an awesome 2026. And let's make this the best one yet in our personal lives, professional lives, everything else. Let's make sure that the next chapter is the best chapter, and let's do that in perpetuity until we're in the damn ground. How about it? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You all are beautiful. I love you so very much, and that is going to be it for me. So until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.